show. Business for breakfast as usual on Friday. We are talking business, and we've got a number of things that have been happening in the world of business in this country. As usual, your co-host is Prudence.
Of course.
She's here.
Of course, Sharon, I am here.
And I don't even know why you get me to start when I'm just a visitor here.
You're never a visitor on set, and of course you've introduced that we are going to be discussing a lot of important things on the program today. Remember, there is this load management. How is it that it is affecting you, the viewer out there? Let's get to hear what you have to say. Sharon, how this issue is affecting
we actually
you.
want to apologize for starting the show a bit late. It was due to circumstances beyond our power control. But we are here, and we will ensure that to bring you up to speed with what's happening in the country. Prudence, just to brief the viewers out there before we go further into the show. Yesterday, you covered a story, Zambia Development Agency, where they reviewed very good statistics in terms of business. Just run us through quickly before we delve into the Morning Post.
Okay, I'm going to update you on that one later on the program. But
we want to give people a feel.
Yes, the Zambia Development Agency Acting Director General Albert Harampa yesterday did update us on the performance of investment in the country. He did mention about 371, was it 93? Not really sure on the figures. I need to get that one correctly. Businesses were registered, which amounted to investment worth over 8.5 billion, close to 9 billion. It was 8.9 billion US dollars. That was the investment worth. And this investment also saw the country create about 79,000 jobs were created through this investment. That was according to Mr. Harampa yesterday. He did update. And then some of the projects they did follow up. And among the sectors that performed well was the manufacturing sector, which performed about, which brought in investment of about 4.0 billion United States dollars in the manufacturing sector. So investments were done in the manufacturing sector, in the agriculture and other sectors. But the manufacturing sector actually was the one that was outstanding, and the investment was about 4.0 billion United States dollars. Quite
Great
big
stats.
numbers that were being mentioned yesterday.
Huge
numbers were being mentioned yesterday. I was like, wow.
But then how do we manage to sustain those manufacturing industries that have opened with this shortage of power in the country? Let's look at the Morning Post this morning and start on a healthier note.
Hello, 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 hello. It's your boy Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, here at Chon's Fitness in conjunction with the Camnet TV. Remember, you can get your fitness attire here and here. So guys, today I'm taking you in aerobics. We can go now, a 2-minute aerobics, okay? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, then you start.
Niggas about rock beat. Surprise or gift from the rock beat. Feel how I'm moving on the rock beat. Putting all my songs on the repeat. This mama got it hard like a solid. You might put them on the limit like an ice stick. Me so that my beat.
Keep going.
Working for buzz like a ballet. Working everything so I'm never gonna leave. I've been working hard so I'm gonna achieve. Feel what the way.
So after this, you do the 1-hand jumping jacks. Get ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. This side. Okay. Keep going. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You switch this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're done. Woo! So guys, today we are going to do a deadlift. Yeah, and also I'm going to mention the parts the deadlift works on. So I'm going to do a 2 times. Okay. So I have my 30 kg here. So slowly you move close to your barbell. Okay. So you bend all the way like this. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I've done 8, and I would like to tell you the parts the deadlift works on. Actually, the deadlift is a full body workout. It works on your core, the arms, the lower back, hamstring. Okay, so this is what you do when you want to perform a good deadlifting exercise. So you hold the dumbbell, move close to your barbell here like this, then all the way, try as if you are pushing the ground away. Then when you reach here, you push your glutes forward as well as chest out. So this motion helps you with the core. Then drop it down. So mind you, let's take for instance you are using an overloaded barbell. So the advice I can give you, it's when you take it up like this. So instead of you going down all the way like this, so when it reaches here, then you go for another lap. You go for another lap. For this kind of action really helps you for your lower back here. Okay, let me do the last one. I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Okay, that's it for today. You've been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Papi, here at Chon's Fitness in Kablonga. Remember, you can also get your fitness attire here. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. You're still watching Camnet Breakfast. That was the morning boost trying to flex your muscles, especially Prudence here where she is. She is actually competing with somebody out there. She's competing with somebody out there in weight gains, but we will ensure that we
no, I actually
do
exercise, Sharon. I even tell people if you can't do it in the morning along with us, in the evenings before going to bed, this program is being streamed live.
You can just believe you.
Go back to this particular segment and begin to exercise, because I usually do that myself.
Am I supposed to believe you?
Why not if not?
It's 2023. Happy New Year to you too. We are still enjoying that zone of being in 2023, and this morning our focus is on load shedding that has been affected to up to 12 hours. How are you coping in your area? Do you have power 24 hours, or do you have power for 12 hours, or is it less than 12 hours,
or is it more than 12 hours?
How are you managing your businesses? We have seen a lot of generators, you call them gensets, making noise in the community. That's noise pollution. And also power load management has got a direct correlation, Prudence, to climate change, cutting down of trees, because there will be more demand for charcoal, which works against, I think we had an interview some time back with one of the opposition leaders who said, if we do this extended load shedding, we are shooting ourselves in the foot in terms of fighting climate change, because people will be cutting trees. The demand for charcoal will go high.
Definitely.
But we are discussing how you are managing this load management in this era. 12 hours load shedding. Prudence, the way she's imagining herself.
2023. You know, when you're saying 2023 is a different year and I want to do things differently, and then you realize you actually have no power. How do you do things differently from what you did last year? I think you're even going to worse than it was last year. Other alternative sources of energy are equally expensive. If you talk about charcoal, I think even using charcoal is more expensive,
yes,
than we even think. Using gensets, now that fuel has become expensive, even using a genset is now very expensive. So how do you mitigate and balance between making a profit in your business,
sustaining your business, and basically surviving? I think this is a term that we're going to be using more often. We're just surviving. You may not necessarily make that profit that you've always made, but then you will have to survive throughout this period. Let's look at one of the stories that we read yesterday, where the opposition RPP leader was talking about helping government find solutions instead of gaining political mileage. And thereafter, we will let in one of our first guests as on Zoom online. COVID taught us this, and we've carried on, Prudence, to advance in terms of technology. Let's look at this story, and then when we return, hopefully we will let in our first guest and have a conversation on electricity and the likes. Prudence.
Yeah, of course, Sharon. Talking about even what the opposition leader said yesterday, when you talk about the issue of not having electricity in 2023, we saw this problem in 2022. In 2016, was it in 2016 when we had this particular problem? And what we hoped for was, by the time we'll be here, the government would have done enough investment in this sector.
They promised us, man. And they invested as well. There's an initial investment that was put in, but then it seems it hasn't realized the much needed results. Probably the promises were too huge on the part of this administration when they were in opposition, and people were really hopeful. So they're quite disappointed equally, I think. I'm a little disappointed. Let's look at the story for Winter Kabimba in RPP, and thereafter we let in our guest on Zoom and have a brief conversation on this topic.
To peddle this as a political animal, I think will be doing injustice to the Zambian people. As leaders, whenever there's a problem, the first thing that we have to start thinking of is solutions. And what are the solutions in this regard? We are saying, as government, my appeal to the executive is we quickly run through to what immediate solutions we can offer to the young entrepreneurs that are literally affected in this sector. If we don't, then we're going to have an economic crisis, because the young people will be affected, those that are in business will literally be affected. So I think solar energy is an immediate solution. If at all the government could quickly come in and waiver all the materials that are related to solar power, I think that would be an immediate solution so that we cushion to the power deficit. Other than that, the economic situation for our entrepreneurs is going to be a disaster. So I'm appealing to the executive of the UPND government to quickly arrive at an immediate solution so that we cushion to this problem that is before us. And I want to also advise our political players. This should not be treated as a political benefit, or rather political sympathy from the Zambian people.
Expectations from the governing United Party for National Development UPND are high in 2023, as this will mark the second full year of the UPND in office. The party was in 2022 stating that it was putting things in order and would be able to take full control of all sectors once the cleanup is done. Economic Front Party President Winter Kawimba improved in 2023 but only worsened due to the introduction of the 12 hours load shedding schedule, among other issues. He has accused from banks, stating that their success will trickle down to mass employment.
And therefore, we need another line of which is predominantly government-owned or government-supported, so that the small-scale business people can access monies. That's a third fundamental. Okay? So if you do it, that way, then we'll be able to find, a way of empowering everybody, of generating wealth, generating goods and services, and that is what is called an economy, in my little understanding of economics.
The EF president has challenged the UPND to live up to its promises, adding that the status quo does not point towards positive economic growth. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Since the United Party for National Development UPND administration ascended to office in 2020 with the hope of creating employment for the local people, the Zambia Development Agency says it is optimistic that the country's macroeconomic environment improved in 2022, characterized by improved investors' confidence. ZDA Acting Director General Albert Halwampa of $8.59 billion United States dollars.
Billion in 2021 to almost $9 billion in 2022. Why is this so? It's basically because of what I explained before. The economic foundation, the macroeconomic foundation is solid. And you begin to see the economy growing over the space of time. In the medium to long term, you begin to see the Zambian economy stabilize.
The investments also translated in the creation of 74,679 jobs.
The recorded amount of $8.5 billion, the number of jobs that were recorded in those investment projects is 74,679. This is compared to only 24,585 jobs in 2021. So you can see the leap.
Mr. Halwampa also says during the period under review, 184 investment ventures were monitored, which recorded actualized investment of $4.40 billion United States dollars.
As I speak now, some of these investors, they've already started building factories. They've started already employing. Some of them, they've already completed their factories and they're producing. And as I said, almost $5 billion of this 8.59 billion that is already actualized, which is a very, very good thing.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Republic of Congo has remained the major exporter of non-traditional exports from Zambia, which saw the country's export to DRC increase to $1.45 billion United States dollars in 2022.
Congo remains our #1 market, and the numbers are speaking to that effect. For the first time, we are seeing that the DRC market is constituting 45% of our non-traditional exports. Just imagine how important that neighbor is to our country.
Despite Zambia attracting investment worth billions of dollars, liquidity in the economy has still remained low, hence the need for the government to do more to improve the Zambian economy. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
To peddle this as a political animal, I think will be will be doing injustice to the Zambian people. As leaders, whenever there's a problem, the first thing that we have to start thinking of is solutions. And what are the solutions in this regard? We are saying, as government, my appeal to the executive is we quickly run through to what immediate solutions we can offer.
Welcome back. There you have it, Sharon Kalimbula. We've played quite a number of clips yesterday that were having some leaders, opposition political party leaders, commenting on the aspect of load shedding that has been happening in the country, the 12 hours of load management we are experiencing. How is it that is affecting you? RPP president, the acting president, Agapelwa yesterday did say something, Sharon. Then we also saw Mr. Winter Kabimba equally say something about this whole aspect. But in the end, the question we should be asking ourselves is, the comments that we are passing, I know it is right to comment on certain things that are happening, but are they solving the problem?
What are the solutions? That is RPP acting president Kesha Sakapila, who said people should not again political mileage over this, especially those in politics. Instead, let's try to help government offer solutions. But then the bigger question also is, when these guys were in opposition, were they offering solutions to this problem? Because this is not the first time we are experiencing such kind of load management. However, Winter Kabimba clearly mentioned to say at some point we're having 4 hours, but then this 12 hours is way too much. But I remember last year we were covering more stories on electricity. We covered these people around Kalingalinga who are into metal fabrication, and they use power, really. Their businesses are power dependent, and we did a lot of interviews regarding that, and the complaint was the same. But then, of course, government is mandated to provide this utility. But then to what extent can we depend on government as a people as well in order to sustain our businesses, our livelihoods? So,
Sharon, I did do that, but this month I'm thinking of when I exhaust everything, it will be buy and eat, direct from buying it, because it's not settled. Like I can give an example. For the past 3 days, I've never watched TV actually, because when I knock off from work all the time, I find there's no power, and it comes sometimes at midnight. So the first 3 days that has been the case. Yesterday it was the same. Power came in the evenings around 22. By the time I'm waking up this morning, power is already gone, and I'm not sure how long that will be. It's not certain. So even if you have a freezer, I don't know how long
it's going to stay frozen.
That's the problem, because if we're having more than that, what's the essence of even we're going to buy relish?
Indeed, since we are talking about money.
There you have it. That is the money market for today, Friday.